So the first thing that I wanted to ask you about was just a very simple question about how you got involved with this. What your personal backstory was with the story, when you heard about it, and what made you decide to make this movie?
Well, we didn't start shooting until March of 2012, and most of the events happened, the riot, for instance, happened in November 2011. And I was, how I got interested in this story is basically just watching that riot on television, like many people. And this isn't my line, but somebody said it was the first riot in the history of riots in favor of authority instead of against it. So, I noticed that and thought, there's something interesting there. And, I don't have any backstory or history with this. I'm not really even a sports fan, but I think, I'm not alone. I think, a lot of documentary filmmakers, we seek out these stories because they seem to have a kind of a traction, cultural traction. It's not that we're trying to kind of like continue the job that CNN leaves off or something like that. But, I'm interested in taking these stories that, that were served on the 24-hour news cycle and then sort of representing them or giving people an opportunity to rethink them or look at them again.
Well, it's interesting to me that you said that you're not necessarily a sports fan, because I think this film does create kind of almost an outsider's perspective for the viewer and from like the media perspective, where they're outsiders looking into this world that is completely new to them and is really hard to access if you haven't been part of it. What was that like from your perspective? Was it hard to kind of get into the mentality of someone who would be that obsessive about a sports team and about a culture that would put it over something like this, something as important?
I think the outsider's perspective is good to have. I'll just drag out another chestnut, but I think it was Picasso or something. Well, somebody said, Picasso said, the purpose of art is not to make the strange familiar, to make the familiar strange. And so I think that's what I like to do is go into these things that people just take as a kind of a commonplace thing, like football in America or whatever, and sort of look at it a different way. I think one of the reasons that I like coming to these kind of events is because you get a chance to talk to the filmmakers and ask them, like, so how are you in touch with the subject and stuff like that? And I think the reason we're all interested in that is because there's sort of two films going on. There's the film, and then there's the kind of the ghost film happening that people are watching the story of the filmmaker trying to make the film that kind of flits in and out of the film itself. And, I think what you're picking up on is we definitely were a tribe of Brooklyn, mostly Jews, coming down into this other tribe, penetrating this other tribe and, kind of going, what the hell?